let's get started. Okay, so cards. What message do we have for the collective? Okay, we have the Sun card, and we have the Moon card. I love the yin and the yang of this. Two opposites. I'm gonna get a few more cards before I start my reading. Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Swords. Oh, two knights. Okay. I'm loving the duality that we're seeing here. Okay, I think I'll put a few more cards. Five of Pentacles. And I'm feeling one more card. The Hermit. Okay, cool. So, let's get started with what we have. So, just checking the comments. Okay, cool. Oh, sorry. So, we got the Sun card to start with. It's a really beautiful card, isn't it? I actually love the Sun card. It's one of my favorite cards in the tarot. So much so that I actually got a tattoo of the sun. Because I just love what it means. Basically, the Sun card is all about authenticity, or like really connecting and feeling aligned within yourself and what you're doing. And I think it's just such a beautiful representation. And like, look, like she's glowing. She'd be glowing. Like, she just has so much of this, like, energy. She's, like, harboring the sun, isn't she? She's, like, that reminds me of, like, the sun, what's it called? The Sunbringer? I feel like people who have read the books or have seen the TV show, escaping the name of what it's called, but if people know, write it in the chat. Is there a chat function? Maybe people can't tell me because maybe I have to enable something. I don't know. The message here is basically people in the collective are stepping into their power. They are feeling, it feels like ease is coming into life. Like, look how beautiful this like massive sun is. And this person is just so open to the environment and feels so aligned, like what is inside and outside. And I think, yeah, it's just like a moment of celebrating that. Like, look at that power. Her necklace is flying. Like, she's just like in it. But then what's also so interesting is that we also got the Moon card, which does feel like a direct opposite, isn't it? It is definitely like a yin and yang energy. So it's maybe this whole idea that, like, yes, we have the Sun card and we have something so aligned and so bright, but maybe it's also this idea of balance, but also it's like, yes, there's a lot of good in your life, but don't forget, like, don't ignore things that are quote-unquote bad, or if they are anxiety-inducing. And I also love that there's even these wolves that represent the yin and the yang. So there is a big emphasis on balance. And obviously this is such a beautiful card, but life is about balance. Life is about, like, too much of one thing is not always a good thing. So I think for some, yes, if you're entering this period of feeling great, but it's also saying, don't let this override maybe like demons or subconscious demons that need to come up. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm saying this more in the sense of don't forget that side of you, because that is also a part of you that exists and needs to feel love as well. And it's easy to, especially when you're flying high, to think that everything in life is amazing, everything's great. We gloss over the bad. But I think this is very much coming in to say that you can have this and you will have this. This is a beautiful card. But don't do it at the expense of ignoring parts of you that also need to be seen. And especially parts that are maybe harder to love, or parts that feel annoying to you. Because those are also very real parts of you. See if there's anything more to say. Yeah, I just think that they're two sides of the same coin. They're just like extremes in either end. And I also love that like both of them feel so like out of control. Like she's in the air spinning and she's like in the water falling, but it's that same idea of like, yeah, out of controlness. So we have that. So I guess it's that idea of balance. And then we have the Knight of Wands, which I have to say is such a happy card. Like this is a card of celebration and like wildness, and really like I love how this horse just looks wild in the corner, but it's like great. It feels like heart-centered. It's like, yeah. And then again, it's interesting that we have this duality of the Knight of Swords, because they're both knights, but they're very different types of knights. But if we look at the archetype of what a knight is someone like, you know, someone who maybe has their armor on, someone who is a warrior, you know, stereotypically a warrior, someone who charges and goes after things, because that's what they're trained to do. That's a knight, that's a warrior. And so, yeah, so let's start with the Knight of Wands. So Wands is related to action, is related to doing. And I can't help but feel like this, also Wands are related to fire, but this is so heart-centered, isn't it? Like this woman is having fun. And again, it is like channeling this sun energy, isn't it? It's this passion, it's this freedom. It's like this inner freedom within of just like fun, drumming, and that horse is vibing in the background. to whatever is going on in this situation. Yeah, it's just a very carefree energy. Just like Wands is also about taking action, so it could just be about like you're finally feeling like you're taking action on things that really matter to you, and it's fun. It's lighting you up. And I mean like it's kind of nice of like what this is saying. Oh wait, I have a gift in the gift gallery. Ooh. I'm very new to lives, so I'm trying to kind of figure out... Okay, no. I don't think that was actually a gift. Okay, something popped up. I'm sorry, that was mid-reading. I am trying to figure out how these lives work, so thank you for bearing with me as I'm figuring this out. But yes, like I was saying, I love this. I also have to say the colors, maybe I'll come back to the colors later because this is very orange. And the orange is reminding me of the sacral chakra, which if people know the chakra systems, you know, we have the crown chakra, third eye, throat chakra, heart chakra. Solar plexus chakra, sacral chakra, which is right under the belly button, and then the root chakra, which is at the bottom. And they all are associated with different colors. And this orange is sacral. It's related to the sacral chakra. And I just feel like this orange is so in tune with this energy because so the sacral chakra is about creativity. It's about creator energy. It's also very much related to sex and sexuality as well. They say that creativity and sexual energy are very like intertwined, especially as it sits in the sacral chakra. And I can't help but feel like this carefreeness, this creativity is so linked to that sacral energy. And maybe for some, it's like they're finally tapping into that sacral chakra energy and they're just feeling like a creator and carefree and fun and play and creativity. It's all sitting in that energy. So for those who needed to hear that, it's like tap more into that. Maybe they feel really disconnected from their sacral and need to like lean more into it. Or it's just someone who's like really like stepped into that and is really harboring it. But either way, it's really beautiful, carefree energy, which is a lot of fun. And I'm going to go back to this quickly just by saying the yellow reminds me of it's the solar plexus chakra, which is about self-worth and confidence. So for some of you, I think for a lot of you guys, you've finally stepped into a chapter of your lives where you feel more confident, where you feel like, wow, I feel lit up. I feel attuned is more of that. But for those who need to hear this, like maybe it's about stepping more into your confidence. Even though for most of you, I think you already have. But for some of you, maybe you need a bit of like coaxing into, not coaxing, encouragement into it. So yeah. Okay, but then we also have the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords, again, we're talking about knight, that same energy, but swords is more in the realm of ideas, communication, intellect. That's what swords represent. But I really like that this person's like on the go. They're running for something. And I don't feel like it's running from something. I think it's running towards something. And it's interesting because this whole reading, so much energy, like so much go-getter energy. And yes, we have this like, yeah, on this one hand they're celebrating and they're in their crater. And on the other hand, they're going after what they want. They're really like sprinting towards it. And I think for a lot of you, like, you know where you have to go and you know the tools that you need, aka this vehicle. And also I feel like for some of you there's like guidance. Like maybe this, you know, I don't actually know what the spiritual meaning of birds are. If people know, do drop it in the chat. Even though I'm realizing there's maybe not a chat function. And I'm sorry for not knowing this sooner. But I think it's this idea that like, yeah, they're like running towards these tools or this vehicle that they know is going to help them accelerate to their goals, and they're getting the guidance from above in whatever form that looks like. Often I know black crows can represent ancestors. I think that's in Hinduism, or maybe in many different cultures. But maybe there's that sense of like, yeah, you really feel drawn towards going down a certain direction, and you are like running towards it, and you know that along the way you're going to get tools that are going to accelerate you on that way, and you're getting higher guidance as you do it. So yeah, it's a lot of this beautiful energy. Now, okay, so the next is the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles, you know, historically is a card about like feeling like you're being left out. Like in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's someone who's like, or it's actually two people who are like out in the cold and they feel, yeah, you know, scarce. It's the scarcity mindset. And like maybe for many of you guys, you have been dealing with scarcity mindset. You know, it's very common. It's what I think is so interesting about this is that the key and the lock are in the same card, like they're in the same environment, yet it almost seems as though it feels heavy to be able to get this there. Like it feels like a journey, like it feels like cumbersome to have to do it. But then when you actually just look at it like this, we're like, oh, it's actually not that hard. It looks like really close. But to be honest, I kind of think that it feels harder. It feels like a burden. And it almost feels as though, and this is really taking a turn. And I know we've had like such like go-getter energy throughout this whole reading, but I think it's a little bit, what I think I'm realizing is like these first two cards, I think spoke to the Sun card a lot. And I think these next two cards that have come through are talking more about the moon. So as we were saying, there's like great things happening in your life, but it's like, don't forget the things that feel a bit more difficult in your life. And if you do have these feelings of scarcity, of like, you know that there's so much good going on in your life, yet it's hard for you to let go of a mindset that is scarce, that is hard, that is, yeah, what's the word? Like you feel alone, like you feel like that the person's even kind of muddy, like you feel trying to think of the right word. Maybe I'm being too pedantic thinking of the right word, but it's like, yeah, I feel a lot of sadness, and I think I feel a lot of like, as much as you like have so much love for life and you're going after what you want, there's maybe a part of you that feels like, man, this is hard, or like this is lonely. And both can be true. Both can both can coexist. And I think it's not always easy to recognize that both can coexist. But the more you realize that two opposites can coexist in this way, and it can be a very beautiful thing. Like, I mean, beautiful, I mean, it's not fun, but I think it's beautiful when you realize that two opposite things that you didn't think could make sense to be together actually do make a lot of sense. I'm just going to quickly check my stats. Sorry for this. Oh. I have to say, there's a lot flying around on this. Oh. Was that? I think I did that, like... Oh, sorry. Okay, well, that button's not working. Okay. Maybe I need to... Cool. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I was just kind of trying to make sense of this. Anyway. So. There's quite a lot to say about this card. So let me just see. I can't get over, like, the mud on her. I feel like the mud is saying something. It's like you've really been through something that left markings. I was about to say scars, but it's not permanent. This is mud. But it's left a fleck that just feels heavy or dirty. But when you pick yourself up, you realize you can just wash it away. It's not, maybe people are going through something painful or some kind of discomfort or pain, but really it's not permanent. It's a fleeting, although it's very real, and I'm very sorry for people who do feel that they're going through this, it's not a permanent feeling. It's like this too shall pass. And whatever that might be for you, like if it's a lack mentality, if it's, yeah, it's something that is feeling heavy in your life, but know that this too shall pass. It's just like mud. Mud can be washed off, and one day you'll be clean again. But until you feel ready to wash the mud off, yeah, you have to feel this heaviness. And this is why I guess it's like, you know, maybe also you have answers, but it just feels heavy to unlock them. Or maybe you just need a moment before you feel ready to really go there. And whatever's behind this door, I think, is maybe, you know, the rest of your future, but it takes a while to really get there. Yeah, that's really nice. And then we have the Hermit. I have to say, it's quite a beautiful card. I like how ethereal it is. But I think, you know, the Hermit is very much about, you know, having alone time, going within. Maybe it's someone that needs to have alone time to really reflect and to find their light again. And we have established, like, obviously you're, like, shining very bright right now. But like I said, I also love that these are, like, similar color schemes. But it could be in this idea that, like, this alone time is just giving you time to reflect. And you are in a phase of your life of go, 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 as we established with these cards. It's a lot of passion, it's a lot of going, it's a lot of doing, and you feel it's so right and so fulfilling. But yeah, don't forget to take time out for yourself. Don't forget to, like, just be. And I think also when you just are is also when you can actually find the sun again. It's a little bit of a full circle moment. It's like in those moments of stillness and alone time is when you can really connect. Is there a chat function? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just like checking. Oh, I didn't realize you only had a timer for that. Sorry, this is great. I'm just like kind of checking. Also, like, I don't understand everything. Sorry, this is me just also figuring out live, so. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome. This is really cool to find out. Okay, sorry, but I'm still doing this reading. So, yeah, it's very much a full circle moment that in your stillness you can reconnect with that sun energy, and then the whole cycle goes again. Okay, awesome. Now it got really dark there. Okay, so I am feeling, yes, we're gonna pick some more tarot cards. Awesome, I'm just gonna hydrate. Okay, so we're going to add some more to this collective. What more does the What more does the collective need to hear? Oh, 6 of Wands. Changing the deck. Ace of Swords. 7 of Cups. Oh, I got 2. 9 of Cups. And Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, and the 9 of Pentacles. Okay. We good? I kind of feel like there were 3, 3. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so. Let's see. Okay, so we have the 6 of Wands. This is a card about like celebrating being recognized for, yeah, just like gaining recognition. Like a big victory has happened. Oh, okay, I take that back. This is the 4 of Wands. Sorry, I was thinking the 6 of Wands, but obviously it's 4 right there. This is the 4 of Wands. This is the thing when it's live. Now I'm like, oh, okay, well, I did say the wrong card. 4 of Wands means celebration. It's a card of celebration, of coming together, of like meeting goals. What I love about this is like it really signifies community to me, like people coming together and celebrating. And I think it's just like maybe some people have had like some darkness time, but then they've come together in this very beautiful community, and there's a lot to celebrate. They come together in unison and really celebrate the magic that is around them. So I think for a lot of you, community is a very important time and aspect, and it makes you feel stronger and shine brighter. Oh, I got a requirement met. What does that mean? sorry, just letting you know I'm new to TikTok Live, so I keep getting all these things popping up, and I'm like, what do they mean? I don't understand. But anyway, this card is very happy, so yeah, if for whatever reason you feel drawn to coming together, celebrating. I feel like your magic really shines when you're together. And I think you shine, as we've established, you shine by yourself. That's never been an issue. But coming together is a different type of magic. And I think there is this lovely energy of coming together as one. As one in sense of maybe one purpose or like one common mission where you can really put your heads together. That's really nice. So the Ace of Swords. Ace signify a new beginning. And swords talk about intellect, ideas. Can also be a communication. So it could be this idea that you have a new idea coming through that's really shining bright. Like, I love how much it's shining. It could be a new chapter for your communication style. I get a sense of like lightness from this card. There's something that's really light and shining and just like, yeah. I also quite like that there's this like rope here. It's almost as though like there's been a lot of like, not wounds, but like things that like, you know, had been so loved that they were falling apart. And, you know, you took this rope as a way of mending. But it's so interesting because it almost looks like it doesn't quite belong to that rope, because like the sword is like, you know, looking like one full piece, and then you have this like small rope to keep it together. But I think it means something to you to have that. It's like a symbol. Yeah, I don't know if there was more meaning to that, but I think it's just like this idea that's coming through is really going to shine bright. I think it's a very winning idea. And it might be, maybe also with this, it could have been like an old idea, or an old idea that you've maybe tried fixing, or like you've like seen a new way of doing it. So, and maybe this idea has come through, you know, you coming together and building this magic, and then you have this piece that's been fixed. I do feel like there's more to say about this card. I think there's parts of this idea that feel like amazing, that are just so like, they shine so brightly. And I think it just didn't always flow in the past. And I think now you finally came up with a solution that seems a little like out of left corner, but it's really made the whole thing shine in a way that you never thought would shine. So maybe you just had to like change out one of the idea, or one of the aspects of this idea, look at it in a different way. And yeah. Cool. So then after that you have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups often talks about choices. They have all these choices. But what I quite like about this one is like, she is looking quite hopeful, you know, like she's looking quite longingly at the different options that exist. And maybe this is you looking at a different solutions. Like they finally feel like they've all come together. Like this idea, I think, has really helped you see different things. It's almost as if maybe we're saying like this thing that you used to mend this sword, there were many different options in how to do this. And that gave you life. That was like, it wasn't overwhelming. Because sometimes this card can talk about overwhelm. But actually, she doesn't look overwhelmed. She looks hopeful. She looks longingly at these different options. And it's almost as though like you've stepped into this phase of like innovation, or for those who are entrepreneurs, like you're really feeling yeah, something bubbling up. Like these options are so positive. And there is more to say. Let's see. I do kind of like with these cards that, you know, they often have a lot of like this, like, it's not smoke or fog or something, but like they kind of like go through both sides. Is there a connection? Maybe it's just like a continuation of these. I also really like how all these stars are like really popping up and shining. You can kind of see them. You know, all these different stars. I think for a lot of you, like you're in a phase of your life where you see opportunities more than you see problems. And I think this is what's really, I think it's also coming together in the right, with the right people and celebrating and seeing you for you. I think it's really helped you think differently, like shift your mindset in a way that ideas suddenly feel possible. What used to feel impossible doesn't anymore. And this is why it's so exciting to have so many different ideas. It's like you're innovating, you're creating, you're thinking of new ways of doing things. And like we talked about in the beginning of the reading, you finally have the energy and the passion to go for it because it just feels so aligned, like the sun. So you don't see problems in the way you used to. You're seeing opportunities, you're seeing solutions. And I think that is something that just really hits. It's really beautiful. Okay, is there more to say about the Seven of Cups? I think I am also getting still a sense of like there is some aspect of needing to be a little bit careful with all these like options. Like maybe it's saying like, I don't know, this skull is also like speaking to me. So maybe it's that idea of like you can't always like trust every idea that you have. Not to say you can't trust every idea, more like trust every opportunity that comes your way. Like do be discerning, don't just like blindly go in, but your mindset is such that you see more opportunities than you see problems. However, do still be discerning when opportunities come your way and really weigh in and be like, is this right for me? Like, yes, an opportunity has come and this is fantastic, but is this the right one for me? So I'm just getting this bit of energy of like, do still be discerning, do take whatever resonates, but it has to be right for you. So, yeah. And then we have the Nine of Cups, which is a very favorable card in the tarot. I mean, look, she's just like basking in abundance, basically. I think it's like, it's a very much like, the Cups is linked to emotions, so it's like emotionally fulfilling. And to be honest, looking at the cards earlier, like coming together in community, suddenly seeing, you know, opportunities that used to maybe you didn't always see them as opportunities. It's fulfilling. It's like filling your cup tenfold or ninefold, since it's 9 cups. And I think that it's something that you can take a moment and breathe in what suddenly just feels so, I was gonna say relaxing. Is it relaxing or just like so abundant that suddenly just feels so like, oh, yes, this feels good. And yeah, why shouldn't you? No, this is a really beautiful, and it also feels like so refreshing with the water sprinkling down and things. Yeah, it's really cool. And then we got the Queen of Pentacles. So if you think of the archetype of a queen, it's someone who is in their divine feminine power. And I'm not talking about gender because energies can speak to whichever gender. But it's a quality of being in your, in your divine feminine. But also if you think of the archetype of the queen, it's like someone who, it's so interesting because I'm thinking of all the things like the feminine energies. So it's like really listening to your body, really tuning into what your body has to communicate, your intuition, and suddenly just feeling so in tune with that. I suddenly got a big sense of like peace that washed over me while looking at this card. There's something really like nurturing and peaceful and just feeling safe. I feel safe with this card. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Taken care of. Obviously, I know this woman is like cooking, cleaning, and nurturing. But maybe for some of you, it is like feeling taken care of. This could be you. It could be someone else coming into your life that has this energy, but I think it's almost you. I think it like for some it is you, but I think for some it's also maybe this community gives you this sense of safety. Maybe this community is what has this Queen of Pentacles energy. And then we have Nine of Pentacles, which is also like so abundant. Same as this, so abundant. This is maybe speaking more emotionally, and this is speaking more in the earthly realms. Obviously, she's like surrounded by money, by coins. So it could be financial abundance, but it could also be like abundance in the earthly realm. So I just think like for a lot of you, as you're going through this journey of innovation and passion and going after what you want, you will reap financial rewards. And that's something, you know, everyone wants to hear. Amazing. Let's see if there's anything else to say about this. No, I think that's good. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely like different stages. Okay, I am feeling one more tarot deck before we go into some oracle cards. Because I feel like this is definitely a narrative, and it's interesting because I don't necessarily feel like they do, there is it feels a bit disjointed. That's what I'm trying to say. There's something about this narrative that does feel a little disjointed. Since at the beginning it was talking about your passions and going after what you wanted, but balancing it with the shadow side of you. And then the other part talked more about community and how that community really has helped shift the way you see the world and the abundance and the safety that comes from that, which is also really beautiful. And not to say that those two don't, they can't be part of the same narrative. It just felt like two separate things. So I'm wondering if we can tie it together. So I'm going to take out another tarot deck and see what more kind of pops out. Okay, Three of Wands. Oh, Nine of Swords. Just suddenly a little different vibe going on here. Can we bring it all together? This is the question. Okay, we got the World. And then we got the Nine of Cups again. This is the second time you're getting this card. Okay, cool. So we got the Three of Wands. So this is often a card about like contemplating, looking towards the future, looking towards the horizon and seeing, okay, what's next? This looks like Lord of the Ring vibes, doesn't it? It's like on their journey, like Frodo and Sam on their journey, looking on towards, I guess, on their way to Mordor, and just being like, wow, what's next? What's coming our way? So I think for some of you, like, yes, we've talked a lot about this really big energy, this huge burst of energy that's coming in through your life, and you're really acting on it, and it's a very like tangible time of your life where you feel really abundant. And maybe this card is kind of speaking more to like taking stock and just being a bit like, what's next? And maybe this is more future version of you. Maybe not like right now, because like right now I think you're really much in this passion energy of go, go, go. And that's a beautiful thing. But there is a bit of this contemplating energy of like, okay, I'm doing all this now. And what is like, maybe you were like really happy to do this in like the first 2 years. But then there's a part of you that's like, but what's my 5-year plan? And not everyone has a 5-year plan, but it's that idea of like thinking to the future of like, okay, what else do I want? And really looking at it and reflecting of like, I want that. I want that thing. And maybe that will take me a few years to get there, but that's where I'm heading. And then the 9 of Swords. So I'll be honest, the 9 of Swords often talks about anxieties. It talks about nightmares, like people maybe having a hard time with stress. And maybe for some of you, it is a little bit of this, like, you know, you're looking towards the horizon. And maybe some of you are stressed that you're not there now. That, like, you're like, why am I not reaching the horizon that I so clearly see? And it's stressful. And I think, yeah, it sometimes keeps people up at night, or it's an undercurrent worry that's there. And then we have the World. So the World card actually talks about completion, like a cycle completing. So maybe, I wonder if this has also come through in the whole reading of like, you know, you have this burst of energy, like we talked about the Sun card, we talked about the Knight of Wands. You have this like burst of energy. And it's giving you purpose. It's giving you community. It's giving you innovation, seeing things differently, fixing things that you never thought you could fix. And then you'll reach a point where you're like, and what's next? And there's a little undercurrent of worry of like, can I make it there? And maybe that's the cycle that needs to complete. But I also kind of get the sense that like you will get to where you want to go. And I think the 9 of Cups very much proves that you will have this like, this abundance, this emotional fulfillment that comes. It's a card of fulfillment. And it's the second time it's come up in the reading. So it's definitely, you are doing something that really fulfills you. Cool. So now I think it's time to do some more cards. But now we're going to do oracle cards. I love these oracle cards. So this is called the Sacred Feminine. Okay, let's see. Okay, they're quite big cards, so let's pull some. That's for the collective. Soul's Journey. Oh wow, it's beautiful. Living from soul opens me to the magic that exists when I surrender to divine manifestation on its own terms and timing. This almost speaks to like that anxiety card. It's like, but also not only, because I feel like this is a huge journey that your soul is going on. And it's like living from soul opens me to the magic that exists. And I think this is very much also this, like you are living from soul. And this is why this whole journey has really just like opened up for you. Okay, surrendering. I honor the truth in surrendering as it opens me to gifts of divine grace. Oh wow. Look how powerful that card is. Just like the illustrations alone. Yeah, and a lot of this is surrendering. And maybe this is part of what we're saying at the end, is like when you look towards the horizon and you think like, did I achieve all I wanted to achieve? And you feel anxious about it, but it's like, this is just the start of your journey. It's gonna take time. But do surrender. I honor the truth and surrender as it opens me to gifts of divine grace. It's beautiful. Okay, last one. Oh, okay, two came out. So we have creative cocooning. Creative cocooning is a freedom I give myself. I create a safe nest of peace, healing, and calm. This reminds me of the Hermit card that you got earlier. That need to sometimes cocoon. Also, I think creative cocooning also just reminds me of like the Knight of Wands, like the whole creativity and the sacral energy that we talked about. Yeah, creative cocooning is a freedom I give myself. I create a safe nest for peace, healing, and calm. So for some of you, it is about stepping into that creative cocoon. I think that's the best way to put it. Maybe that's when you hermit. And then savoring the positive. I allow myself the spaciousness of savoring the delicious gifts in my life. Again, with the birds. Because we talked about birds up here. We talked about spirit guides. So it could be talking about that. Look up the spiritual meaning of birds. But I also love, like, we kind of started with the sun and now we're also ending with the sun. Or maybe it's this idea that, like, this person really was, like, the sun just, like, burst out of them. Finally, they felt so aligned. And then through some, like, crafting, they were able to hone in on that and really be able to hold the sun. I allow myself the spaciousness of savoring the delicious gifts in my life. And maybe also, like, you know, this explosion almost had to, like, happen out of you, and then you were able to refine it as you worked on it and be able to hold it and see it for what it is. But this is a very beautiful chapter that you're in. It's full of energy, it's full of passion, it's full of going after what you want. And the universe really has your back in this. It's really like saying, like, yeah, you need to be doing this. This is fulfilling you on so many levels. And I know that at times it can suddenly feel anxiety inducing, hence why we got the 9 of Swords pop up. But in everything that you're doing, know that you're taking the steps needed to the life that you want, and the life that you're here to live. But yeah, so this was my reading. Thank you for joining. This was also my first live, so it was really interesting to learn all the different buttons and things, because it is a lot to get your head around. I understand why people do this like as a team because there was just like so much. Also realizing there's no chat function, which I was very confused by. But anyway, for those who did join me, thank you so much. This was really exciting. And yeah, I loved doing a tarot reading for you guys. So thank you so much. And yeah, catch you another time. Bye.